Hi everybody. I wanted to pop in as promised with a little preview of the journal that I have prepared for my trip to Maine before I leave. I'm starting out with just prepping the pages with some color so that I'm not looking at white page. And I also, at the suggestion of a friend, and I thought it was a brilliant idea. Oh, look, that's still wet. I'm having trouble. This is the van that I travel in, and I'm having trouble getting it repaired so that I can go. So I have drawn a picture of it racing down the road in the hopes that it's going to manifest good repair energy before I leave, because it's got 3 days to get me in the shop. So we'll see how that goes. I purchased a couple of things for my trip, some tins to keep my watercolors in, and these things were on the tag for that, and I thought both of those were kind of appropriate. And since I'm heading to the Maine coast, I chose to use colors that were much like the ocean, making some random marks to just see what happens. Now, I did learn this is a Seawhite concertina journal, and I learned how much water was too much water, and I tore a bunch of these pages. They are how they construct these is this is a sheet of paper, this is a sheet of paper, and then on the other side, these two edges are a sheet of paper. So they're alternating, and that means that at every fold you have one thin sheet of paper. And then they are, let's see if I can show you, they're just glued on the edges and they're loose in between. So it works out good in that it stops bleed through, but every single edge is a weak spot. And I tore this a bunch of places because I used a lot of water, as I usually do. So I came back in later and I glued down some, this is rice paper with fibers in it. And I really like how it went down. It just almost disappears. I thought this one with the little pieces was going to be interesting, and I kind of like this one now better. These folds are going to be a little bit stiff until I use them a bit, but I like the fibers in this. I think it just adds a little bit more variety and mystery, and it feels still like the ocean to me. So, as you can see, I allowed drips to happen. I made marks with water-soluble and non-water-soluble pencils. I scraped things around. There is gesso. This spot right here is gesso. I put that down before I put anything else on. And you get resist from the inks. These are inks that I poured on and sprayed and moved around. So the gesso takes the ink differently than the plain paper. You can see it here too. So it creates more random stuff happening in the background, which then becomes interesting when you put images over the top. So this pretty much, there's another stiff corner, goes along in pretty much the same way. Some of these got a little bit darker and feel a little bit more like stormy ocean to me, but it definitely has the feel of ocean. And since that's the theme of the trip, I think that that's fantastic. I did prepare both sides. I'm just going to go through this rapidly because, like I said, it is all just more the same. Lots of patches. So I went through all that on that side. I've got some pages that I picked out that seem like they were maybe ocean-like for collage later if I decide I want to do that. I'm not sure. I do have some matte medium with me just in case I decide I want to do that. And these are the pages on the other side. Maybe a little bit more browns in these. But still, very ocean-like, very, it has a really great sense of water to me. So I'm really excited to work on this journal. So I wanted to share that with you before I leave, and then hopefully I'll have something finished to share with you not too long after I get back. My goal with these is for it to be a way to quickly record my journey and my travel. More gesso. I love that, some of these marks. Because I won't have, particularly on this trip, I won't have a lot of time to be fooling around with this. So some of this I will do on location if I have a chance, even if it's just a couple minutes. Other things I will do from photographs either in the evening or maybe later on. Got a lot of sea spray going on there. So it's all really pretty flexible, and we'll just see how it goes. I just sort of try and trust in the process. You never know exactly what's going to happen, and that is part of the fun. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you when I get back from my trip.